It's a bear. Damn, if you bet against this coin every time, you'd have been a winner for the last couple of weeks, pretty much. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Well, let's say a little bit cloudy, a little bit stormy, and a little bit turbulent Lauderdale by the Sea, but still people out there having some fun, and that's the way it should be on cloudy, turbulent times. You should still be able to have a little bit of fun, even though it's difficult to at times. Hey, I delayed my little trip here. I was supposed to leave today, but I figured, let me get this video done here in the morning or the afternoon sometime, and then I'll head out, get my fishing done. I will be doing some really small reports on Monday and Tuesday because I'm going to be out fishing here. Staying in the state, not going anywhere. Beautiful state of Florida. I've got plenty of beautiful places here to vacation. Don't even need to leave the state to have a good time. That's one of the wonderful things about Florida I love. Let's move on to today's topic. And let me see here. Let me just close out of there. And by the way, that's the Lauderdale by the Sea live cam. I'm like 2 blocks down from here. Oh, and I will be open. My staff will be running the store for me, so our regular hours are still here. I just won't be here. So if you want to wait and see me, I'll be back next Wednesday. Hey, markets are up again. Coin absolutely dead wrong this last couple of weeks. The coin shows a bull, it does the opposite. The coin shows a bear, it does the opposite. So I would definitely play the opposite of the coin if you're looking at my coin tosses in the morning here of late. And sorry about that. I don't mean to keep flickering up there. I just want to do a quick reset. I'm not used to this new browser. Hey, gosh, markets are up a little bit, sideways more along. Again, gold hasn't really got monkey hammered that bad. A lot of people talk about, it was 1800, it goes up to 18, and it goes back down to 1750. I mean, we did see a low of 1730 this week, 1725 or something like that in that range, but big effing deal. It didn't stay there that long, kind of moved its way back up to 1750. It looks like it's hanging on to that level. Hard to tell if it's going, where it's going to go from here. I mean, there's a lot of turbulence out there in the markets, as you know. I don't really follow equity markets too closely, but apparently a lot of nervousness out there. Silver way to hell up from where it was low. I mean, some crazy, but that's what silver does, 50-cent dollar swings. I mean, if you're not used to that, this is typical of what silver has been doing for years and years. But for some reason, the last couple months, silver's kind of been staying pretty, staying within these 25-cent range, but not of late. Big dollar swings, big 50-cent swings. And let's see, the low last night, 2202. And a high at 2253. Wow, I didn't see where that 2202 was. We'll take a look at the 24-hour market chart and see what time that 22 happened last night, or what market it possibly can be in. Let me guess, London or Globex probably, but no less. We'll see in a moment. Platinum, still a great buy. It's hanging up to that mid to high nines where it's been for the longest damn time. I suspect platinum is just not getting a break because of industrial uses for some reason. Not quite sure. Palladium, again, used to be a 3,000, 4,000, maybe even more metal at one time, even more at one time. Currently sitting not too far away from the price of gold at $1,900 per ounce. So, what is palladium and platinum kind of telling us? Both metals are used in industry. Industry is supposedly right now is in full force trying to make products. And obviously there's platinum and palladium available according to the numbers here. So, what exactly is happening in manufacturing out there? I mean, are they not building cars? Is the workforce not completely there? I mean, it's kind of really weird environment. How much of this environment is being created by the powers to be? I don't know. It's just again, weird environment out there. Let's take a look at the 24-hour charts on gold. Again, 24 hours. Not a lot of movement we'll see in 24 hours, 1750 to 1761. I mean, what's that, $11? You know what I mean? A little $11 move up and down right in between. And for 20, that's not much at all. Let's take a look at the 24-hour gold chart. And here we are. We are the green line right today. Again, last night, where was that? Hong Kong markets. Gold stayed steady all night, throughout the night. And then looks like it took a spike. Let's see, this would put this in the very end of the Globex market, which I would doubt. Usually when that spiked down, well, you never know. So let's take a look here. Where does that go into? So that spike down could be in the Globex market, or more than likely the London market, it looks like. And then we've got to move up here in most likely the New York markets here. Or, again, not sure. This chart does not tell you where these movements are occurring here, or where the buying and selling is mostly occurring in London and New York. And let's take a look at yesterday's close. There's where your chart kind of went back up to take a look at that during London, and then when New York opens, boom, gold jumps back up to that 1750, 1760 range. Overnight, again, stays about that same. There's that stability that we've seen in gold in the last 24 hours, and same thing here, a little spike upwards up to the 1760 mark. Silver, about the same thing too. Well, a little more choppy action in silver. Let me go back on this chart. Price of silver per ounce, 24-hour chart. Look at that. Look at that. That's kind of funny cross there, X. And currently, overnight markets, where did this occur? 22. It looks like that either occurred in what markets were open at the time, either Hong Kong markets or the New York Globex markets. I can't tell, again, by this chart which market that occurred in, but here you go. It started right here, about Hong Kong, right about on this line, again, or New York. So I'm not sure where the market got tanked, which market the gold got tanked on here, but apparently starts to climb here in Hong Kong. I doubt, again, in the Globex market. That's a very thinly traded market, my understanding. If you see gold and silver trades done in New York Globex, it's usually, again, my understanding, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure usually when you see big trades in gold and silver in New York Globex, it's usually to hammer the price down. I think that's where a lot of the monkey hammering and the spoofing that these companies have got fined for, not jailed, but fined for. I believe that's the markets that they mostly they worked in. I think New York Globex markets, obviously NYMEX and Globex markets mostly, and London too as well. Probably all of them. Let's take a look here where we're at right now. And silver is up quite a bit from where it was, 22.20. We're up in that 22.50 range. A lot of choppy action in silver, but that's what you expect when you're buying silver. I like silver at these sub $25 levels. I think it's a great buy. Provides a good opportunity to buy the dip, which you won't have for a long time. At some point, silver's going to be, you're going to look back on the price of silver where it is right now, I'm going to go, wow, you remember when silver used to be 25 bucks an ounce, 20 bucks an ounce, $30 an ounce? I'm telling you, folks, that's just the way it works. Let's take a look at the gold and silver ratio too. And this is kind of a cool chart, courtesy of silverseek.com. I like some of their articles. I read a lot of their stuff. Let's take a look at the 24-hour gold and silver ratio chart here. Where are we at here? And this apparently should be New York time, I think. Yes, that would be correct. Currently at 78. It's been sitting, it's kind of tightening up right now a little bit if you noticed overnight. Let's look at the 5-day chart here. And let's see here. 80 and 80. It's kind of exaggerated on the chart. That's not a huge move. 76. Well, actually, it is 76.95, where we were on earlier in this week. God, look at the action on the gold to silver ratio chart. That's just amazing. 77 to 1 to 80 to 1 in such a short scope of time. That just blows my mind. That shows you how much choppiness there is in both markets, and they're not actually swinging the same way all the time. 80 to 1, that's probably when silver got monkey hammered down to that 21, what was it, 2150, 2160 level the other day, and then continuing to kind of tighten up to where it is right now. But I didn't even notice this 77 to 1. Oh, actually I did. We were talking about 78 to 1 last week, and I believe what I'm kind of surprised about is this 80 to 1, where it jumped up significantly. Again, that's because silver went down a lot further than gold did, and that's where you get that big ratio there. Into gold and precious metal news. Not too much here in Seeking Alpha. I was reading this little report here by Keith Weiner, and I'm not sure if it's Weiner or Weiner. I think it's Keith Weiner. Silver crash makes silver trash. Kind of interesting. The price of silver dropped $1 over 4% on Wednesday. And the summary of his whole article is, some voices in the precious metals want you to think there's only one conceivable cause, that the alleged cartel, the bullion banks, and/or central banks sold silver futures in mass quantities. Also, allegedly, inflation-fearing masses are buying physical gold. I'm kind of got mixed feelings about that statement or the comment, because he does kind of insinuate that down below. I'd say he's right. There are voices in the precious metal press that want you to think that the only conceivable cause is monkey hammering, but, you know, I think what Keith is forgetting is that perception is everything, and that includes in most markets. If the general public has a perception that markets are rigged, and why wouldn't they? I mean, that's what I would ask Keith. Why wouldn't they have a general perception that markets are rigged? I mean, again, perception has a lot to do with investor sentiment. So, if you think a market's rigged, and a vast majority of people do, and rightfully so. I mean, look at the fines that JP had for spoofing precious metal markets, and who else? A couple other companies too, I believe. And that German bank got caught for doing it. So, I mean, there's plenty of evidence that these markets are spoofed, that they're manipulated. And we also have plenty of evidence from Ted Butler Research, who's been talking about for 20 or 30 years, maybe even before this gentleman was born. It was talking about the manipulation of the silver markets by these big short positions. We also know how big a short position that JP held for a long time, and how they manipulated that position into hundreds of thousands or millions of ounces of silver. So, I got mixed feelings about this article. On the other hand, too, there are and Keith is absolutely correct, there are market forces in play. And he kind of explains how much money does it take to push the price of futures down by $1. And technically, he's absolutely correct, but I think that there's a combination of the both here. I don't think it's you've got market forces in play, but when you've got manipulative forces in the market, it skews things quite a bit. And I think that's what Keith may be missing, is that if we were in a truly honest marketplace where you didn't have this kind of spoofing, you didn't have this kind of activity, then I don't think I would disagree with him pretty much at all if the markets were, honestly run the way they should be. However, they're not. There's a lot of spoofing. There's a lot of manipulation out there, and to ignore that, or to say that it doesn't affect market prices, or at least the sentiment, is just I don't know. I don't think you're doing it the correct way. Interesting article by Keith here. I'd recommend reading it. Again, he talks about, in his opinion, how that this is probably not the cause of bullion banks, central banks, or that kind of thing, which I do disagree with. However, he is correct that you can't just entirely say that's the entire market too, because there are market forces at work. There is buying and selling going on, so that is correct. I'm not going to stay here too long. I'm going to move over to ZH and just kind of give you my opinion on parasites, predators, and producers. I don't see too many producers on this page, and I like this gentleman, actually. I think he would make a great president, if you ask me. My opinion of this person is a predator, because they're making a fortune in markets. Meanwhile, they're damning the markets and damning people that are involved with them. So I don't have much good to say about a lot of politicos out there. Good to hear this. This is good for us gold and silver folks, because this creates more chaos out there, and chaos is actually good for precious metals most of the time, especially when it comes to politics and economics. Game changer, no, I'm not going to go into that. Again, this is a great video. I'd recommend watching it, because he did blast him pretty good. People are going to die. Gosh, damn, that's not, I don't, see, this is not good news, and most of what you see is not good news out there. And what is it? Are gold bulls in trouble? Watch this ratio. You know what? I can't help but not click that, so let's take a look. Are gold bulls in trouble? Watch this ratio. I look at charts really, for a while there, I didn't understand charts. They're more than the average bear out there. So started reading more into charts, started looking more into charts, and then I finally came to the realization in my life that charts are wonderful to tell you. They tell you where you've been, and if you know where you've been, and chances are you might be going that same path, it kind of gives you an idea where you might be going as well. So charts definitely can tell you where you've been and where you might go. And that's the key word, might. The other problem I have with charts is that, I think Alan Greenspan, someone once asked him, and I view this like charts. What's it like running the Fed and trying to, I guess it's different now, they don't care what they do, but what's it like trying to figure out what the interest rates should be and how you should run the market a year from now? And he said it's kind of like driving a car using only the rear view mirror, and that's how I view charts. If you solely use charts to figure out where you're going, then basically you're just driving a car using the rear view mirror. Hey, you might get it right. assuming that you're going in a place you've been already and the pattern looks familiar. But again, you're driving a car with the rear view mirror. The other problem I have with charts, unfortunately, is charts don't take into accounting fraud. They don't take into accounting spoofing. They don't take into accounting, you know, and fraudsters and spoofers take charts into accounting. Trust me. A lot of these people that are doing spoofing and fraudulent and short selling, and I'm not saying short selling is fraudulent, I'm just saying all these activities that slam precious metals and other markets, they understand charts completely. So their timing will coincide with things that look like death crosses. Their timing will coincide with things that tell the algos to sell, or tell, because the algos are reading charts as well. Trust me on this. So the timing will also tell the algos, they know exactly when to bang it. That's why they bang it in thinly traded markets. That's why they bang it on Chinese holidays. That's why they bang it on during U.S. holidays, and usually, again, always in thinly traded markets when it's done in large dumps, and when it's done a little bit at a time, it's usually done in New York or London or something like that, cuts by 1,000 deaths. However, again, charts do not take this into account. And if I'm wrong, I'd like to see a chartist tell me that I'm wrong, that charts don't take this kind of fraudulent behavior and this type of manipulative short selling and this type of manipulative spoofing into account. They just don't. And what if, again, the people that are doing this on large scales are purposely doing it to skew the charts? I mean, is that a possibility? I believe it is. They're doing it to skew the algos, so obviously algos use charts. So I suspect that, again, charts are probably going to be, I don't think they're reliable. In fact, charts may even be a bit manipulative nowadays if spoofers and fraudulent people and short sellers are using their positions to manipulate charts, again, to fool the algos and such. This might be a bit conspiratorial, but gosh, it sounds completely rational to me. So, hey, let's move along to, we'll go back here and see if there's any other articles I missed. Not much. Inflation expectation hits 10-year high. Home car buying attitudes at record lows. Yeah, look at the price of frickin' cars out there. Used cars, ridiculous, man. I went to the local Toyota dealership, which is owned by Hathaway. It's funny, it's owned by Warren Buffett's group. I didn't know they owned Toyota dealerships, but the lot was empty. Camry is the most popular car in Florida. There wasn't a Camry on the lot. They had a few trucks, and the prices on the trucks were crazy. The prices on the used stuff were crazy. Manufacturing for automobiles, I don't know what happened, fell off a cliff somewhere because there's just no automobiles out there. And there's no good reason for that. I can't help but think that I don't know, maybe again, it's maybe conspiratorial view that this is all being conspired. You know what I'm saying? These shortages, these non-availability of products, the lack of workers, the closures. For some reason, I just don't have a good feeling about all this. It doesn't need to happen. It doesn't need to happen this way. It didn't need to. The economy didn't need to take a shit over this. It could have been done way differently and way more, way better in so many different ways, but I'm not going to go there. I think that either we have morons running the world or it's purposeful. Oh, maybe a little bit of both. And gas hits a record 100 euros. That is not good for Europe. There's some serious stuff going on with apparently energy too. And that makes me wonder as well. I mean, there's no shortage of energy out there. There's no shortage of oil and gas. What's going on out there? I mean, I think that the populations on Earth as a whole are being manipulated into dependency. Dependency on officials, dependency on government. Again, I digress, and we're not talking about gold and silver, so let's move on. Looks like crypto's got a good chunk of change too recently, and that doesn't surprise me. But cryptos aren't real money, man. That whole market, at first I was confused by it. Then I understood a little bit, and I started to like it a little bit. Then I just realized it's nothing. It's ones and zeros. It's fiat. It's digital fiat. Even worse, you don't even get a piece of paper to wipe your butt with or write on or something like that. At least with fiat currency, you get I don't know. I just don't like it. I'm a hard asset guy, if you can't tell. So let's not talk about that anymore. I'm kind of futures reversed, stagflation losses as dollar dumps in crypto soar. Let's take a look at the DYX because I'm curious. What is a dollar index right now? Dollar index chart. I should have just put DYX. Let's see. Let's see what the dollar's done in 24-hour. And Market Watch has a chart. And let's see. Oh, there we go. They're going to make me subscribe, I think. It looks like choppy action above 94 and kind of back and below that 94 mark right here. Yeah, you've got some little weakness going on right here earlier in the, let's see, that's June 7th. So yeah, you've got a dollar that's climbing here from where it was, but really, I don't think that has an impact. I think that the psychological or the narrative that the dollar had, the overall trend of the dollar is down. The overall buying power of the dollar is down. So the idea that these little cyclical ups or these little ups that we see over time are going to make any significant difference are really in precious metals, especially in the medium long term, is incorrect, not true. We are in a decline. We are our empire is in a decline. The dollar empire is in a decline. There's no doubt about it. However, the nice thing about the U.S. dollar is the U.S. dollar will probably be the last horse to the glue factory. So I guess that makes them a winner, doesn't it? Let's move along here to what else are we talking about today? Out of ZH right now, and again, I want to go fishing, so I'm going to leave here pretty soon. Wanted to get this video done. I've become habitual with these videos. I was going to leave this morning and just do a quick one on my, a memo one for like 2 minutes, but I said, let me just knock this out. I should have left already. Oh well. The sun's coming out too. So what's going on out in the U.S. dollar share of world reserves steady at 59.2%. The U.S. dollar share of currency reserves reported to the IMF was steady. The greenback remains the largest held currency reserve by global banks in the world. That's exactly what I just said. There is, believe it or not, central banks are fighting each other for who gets to be the big dog. And the Federal Reserve and the U.S. dollar is still winning that battle. And I really believe in the background the bankers are, again, they're all to line their pockets. So that's pretty damn obvious. However, they can't kill the golden goose. And who is the golden goose? The golden goose is government. The golden goose is you and I. We're the golden gooses. Believe it or not, we're the golden gooses for bankers. So they can't destroy the golden goose. They have to keep the golden goose up and running for as long as possible. Otherwise, they kind of, you know the story about the golden goose. And central bankers realize that the governments and the populations are the golden gooses. All right? So they're going to do everything they can to keep us on life support, to keep our heads just barely above water, keep us going. But no less, well, that's the only way you can milk the goose. Again, if you kill the goose, you're screwed. So they're in a weird position. However, all the central banks know this, and they want to be the top dog. They want to be the ones that skin the goose the most and get the most out of the goose before it does die. And that's exactly what the Federal Reserve is doing. The Federal Reserve, the big boys there, plan on being at the top of the heap. They don't want China to do it. They don't want the Europeans to do it. They want the Russians to do it. The Fed intends to be the last horse to the glue factory. And how do you do that? Well, you get everybody liking your product, and people still like the U.S. dollar. However, Bitcoin is proof that that some people like a fantasy digital 1 and 0 more than they'd like a dollar backed by a piece of paper. Let's move down here. Indian, hey, listen, what have I said when people say, oh, gold, silver, what do the central banks own, folks? So next time you think that gold and silver is going to go to zero or crash or it's going to be worthless or oh, gosh, why do I own this worthless rock, as some idiot said many years ago. I think it was Warren Buffett. He's an idiot when it comes to gold. Maybe not. Maybe he did that just so everyone would sell. That's the kind of guy he is. But look, Indian central banks accumulate as much gold as possible under the radar. The Russian central banks have done it. The U.S., they're all out there trying to get gold, folks. And why are they trying to fill up their vaults with gold? I've said this. They're not filling it up with fiat dollars. They're not filling their vaults up with euros or yuan or diamonds or Bitcoin. They're not filling their vaults up with that stuff at all. The elite, the smartest bankers in the world, the man behind the curtain, Oz, puts gold in his vaults. And I can't say that enough times. So remember that. You are following, you know that old saying, do what successful people do, or follow success, or copy success. Well, there you go. If you're buying gold and silver, you're copying success here. Trust me on this. Gold and silver made by stars, colliding stars, not made by some guy at a central bank or some guy, Fuji, whatever his name, that made Bitcoin. Gold is made by the stars. It's finite. And we're not mining it anytime soon, so please don't give me the mining bullshit. Reddit, Wall Street Silver. If you are not subscribed to Reddit Wall Street Silver, I highly recommend you do it. There's so much. Listen, even if there's not a lot of educational stuff out there per se on every other page or whatever, the memes are absolutely priceless. The comments are really cool. The enthusiasm is over the top, and it looks like their community is growing even bigger and bigger. And again, feel free to go out there and comment and stuff like that. You'll learn more. Try to teach other people what you know as well. I like this meme here. Tell me, tell me, if we give you this job, what do you plan to do about ongoing market manipulation? What manipulation? You're hired. U.S. Security and Exchange Commission. That's a great one, because that's what I've been saying for years. These regulators are completely frickin' clueless. They hire. I don't know who they hire. I don't know how you get a government job. I don't think there's much to it, really. You just got to make sure or maybe you need a college education. I don't know. Maybe that's helpful. But I've met many people with college educations that were dumb as a grade schooler. So that doesn't necessarily mean much. I think those are the people that go work for government, the ones that just barely passed or can't make anything of themselves. But the regulators in the industry, as far as precious metals go, they suck, man. They suck even worse than the regulators that were supposed to take care of Bernie Madoff. That's my opinion. And let's go down the line here. What the hell is that? Again, like the memes, no flirting. Concentrate on buying silver. Wall Street Silver is just a really cool place. I like it. And again, mostly I like the enthusiasm and the memes and stuff. That's welcome to Wall Street Silver. We buy physical silver. We know things. Pretty cool stuff. Let's take a look at yesterday's video, because I really should get out of here and go fishing. Damn it! I need a couple days off. You know, I haven't had a day off since last October, so I can use this. Let's go through newest first, and just going to go through yesterday's video here and go over a few things. I'd like to thank everybody that watches, of course, you know that. Michael, and even the porn guys. The ball ain't watching, I'm just joking. CB says, I got to get rid of that too, sorry. Thanks for your hard work. You're welcome, Bob. When we have a financial crisis and paper silver gets hammered, will you be able to sell physical silver for a higher price? Yes, you will. The premiums will go crazy. When we have another 2008-like crisis, which should be far bigger, but I don't know if it's going to happen overnight. Maybe this one will be spread out over time. Maybe that's what's happening now, but I digress. When and if we see an overnight kind of crash, you'll see markets crash across the board. You'll see gold and silver crash too. Availability of gold and silver will just dry up completely. Premiums will go right through the roof, and you would not want to sell at that time, even if you were getting a big premium, because the spot price will be so far out of whack, low on the low side, that you'll probably just be getting what you would have got anyway before the crash. Maybe. And again, you're going to wait forever to get silver. I mean, during the 2008 crisis, when it crashed overnight, metals crashed as well. They were quoting silver going out 3 months, 4 months. I mean, some crazy quote times for delivery. It eventually did kind of lighten up after a month or two. Big Water says the best explanation makes sense of this market is a dollar shortage, which explains why bonds are seeking off while gold and silver is falling with a lot of money in overnight reverse repo at the Fed. You know, I kind of, and again, what that gentleman Keith was saying a little bit, I do believe that the fundamentals are in play with gold and silver to the most part, but there is a lot of monkey hammering, a lot of manipulation going on, and I don't know that a lot of institutions are really heavy into gold. You know, it's a very small marketplace. And silver especially. But again, this all comes into play. The manipulation comes into play. The market moves, the dollar going up. I mean, it all plays together. But I don't want anyone ever to forget, yeah, there is spoofing, manipulation in these markets. And as I've always said, since the day we're born, there's been spoofing and manipulation, whether it's politics, economics, or you know, whatever. You know, your home life. Joey says, homemade from scratch. Oh, you're making me hungry. You're going to make me take a sip of coffee. Huh. Thanks for watching, Joey. Glad you're well. Celtic, yeah, I haven't got mine yet. You know, sometime I'm going to start doing coin videos too, because I am a very, very well-knowledged or very knowledgeable numismatist, and I do know coins really well. Glad you got him. Ron, thanks for watching. JP is monkey. JP, we got a monkey hammering on the upside, but who the hell knows, man? Freaking, you never know with these companies. You just don't. You know, they're moves ahead of most people. Susan Marie says the slamming of silver is a regular operation by this entity called the Exchange Stabilization Fund. This fund started in 1934. I heard something about that with gold, the Exchange Stabilization Fund, and it's done through. I got to read more about that. Thanks for bringing that up. And if I remember, Suzanne, I'll kind of do a little search into that. Thanks for watching. Mark says, if premiums are going up, can we expect to see the spot price rise soon? You would suspect, Mark, but let's see what happens. It's rising today. Let's see what happens next week. This is the primary thing. Thanks for watching, Silver, Loving Lou, and Chris. I appreciate that. Michael, again, I hate clickbait titles too. Sabo Takashin says, how about denials that don't want to say we're on the edge of falling into the seawater? That situation. Okay, very interesting. I'll have to look into that. Thanks for watching. Why is 90% out of stock on many online sites? Good question. 90% prices have just gone absolutely stupid, and the premiums are crazy right now. I would not recommend buying Constitution 90% silver at the current premiums that's getting asked for it. And yes, the stuff has dried up. Don't ask me why. Did it get popular? The other thing, too, is there's been no capitulation by physical sellers. Keith had mentioned that there's a lot of selling going on. Well, it certainly hasn't been from the retail environment and the retail physical sellers, because physical retail sellers have not capitulated at all, period. Since 2012, more or less, since the last market. I mean, a little bit here and there, but there's been no major capitulation. I think everybody's just hanging on and waiting for the ride, and they know where it's going. It is a roller coaster to the moon. You're going to have your downs on that roller coaster to the moon, but it's mostly an upward ride, unlike most roller coasters downhill. Celeste, thanks for watching. That is an interesting article on the coins they found on the wall in France. Thank you, AmeriPride. Good to see you. And RD says, oh yeah, the dollar DXY breached 94. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Thanks for bringing that up. I like to see people talking about the technicals as well. You can see silver get hit during late night, early morning U.S. Take advantage of dollar strength to get your metals cheaper. And he's got it exactly right. Thanks for watching, RD, and that's a great comment. My gold and silver platinum is my insurance, and it's not for trade or flip. So when insurance gets cheap, I'm buying more. I couldn't have said it better. Again, gosh, my commenters and the people that watch my videos are smart. Hey, thanks for watching. Really appreciate that, RD, and appreciate the comment. Well, that's really about it. I'm going away. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to take a few days off. I'm going fishing. I'll let you know what I caught, too. If I can, on Monday and Tuesday, I'll do a short audio type video, and I'll send it to Marcelo and have him paste it on. But it'll be really quickly and short. So, but no less, I don't want to break my record of having a video for every working day since I started. So I've never missed one, and I don't plan on it. Hey, thanks for watching. This is Brian Kuzma with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime at 954-493-8811. 8811 between the hours of 10 and 4, Mondays through Fridays. Happy to help you out with whatever you need and give you what the best deals are. Again, we advertise to beat APMEX, JM, SD Bullion. We are a local brick and mortar, so we don't ship out. But if you live in South Florida, we are the place to go. Hey, thanks for watching again. Have a great day. Bye now.